I am absolutely terrified about this interview. I'm going to be asked a lot of questions I'm slightly uncomfortable to answer.
Cheryl Cole right now is probably the most talked about woman in Britain.
I think it's just about time that I draw a line under all the speculation and the rumours and give myself my own voice back.
I want to know the truth about the malaria, and I also want to know the truth about her breakup and divorce from Ashley Cole.
Just want to get it off my chest and move on.
How are you feeling?
Terrified.
Why?
This stuff I have never spoke about.
It's been a weird couple of weeks for you, hasn't it? You've had this sort of barrage of stuff that's come after a really difficult year for you. Has it been hard for you to suddenly find the headlines so negative?
Maybe sometimes it becomes a problem for me, especially over the last couple of years. I've stopped reading everything because I can't cope with it. So it's easier for me to be oblivious to that so I can deal with it. So I'm not sure of all the bad stuff. I know what's going on, obviously. And I have experienced negative press before, and it's horrible.
What kind of reaction did you think you'd get tonight from the audience?
Do you know what? I've had some... You wouldn't believe the support I've had from the public. It's like, it's overwhelming, and it makes me strong.
The thing about being on the front pages all the time is everyone becomes obsessed with how you look, and that's turned you into this massive style icon.
But I don't think I'm a style icon.
Yes, you are.
Not at all.
Ladies, is she?
Sometimes I just want to rock out in my scruffs and my Uggs, you know? It's like...
Your scruffs and your Uggs?
Yeah.
What are scruffs?
You know, like your old tracksuit that feels really comfortable and maybe have a bit of ketchup on there and...
Something inside me is dying here. Can you not...
I'm sorry.
Can we not kill the dream?
I'm sorry.
I read that you spend £250,000 a year on clothing.
And
I note no immediate denial.
I mean, to me, that just seems so ridiculous. It doesn't even justify an answer.
Ridiculous, but is it untrue?
So, 200... I mean, I don't know where these people think I find the time to spend £250,000. It takes a pretty long time to spend that amount of money.
When I went in your dressing room earlier, there was one of the greatest glam entourages I think I've ever seen. I mean, literally, it was spilling out of every corner.
Right.
Preparing every tiny molluscule of this...
Right. Piers, is that a slight exaggeration?
Maybe. How big is the Cheryl Glam Squad?
Do you know, it's funny you should say that, because most people I meet say to me I've got the smallest team they know.
No, I have. And it shows, I know. When you pick up a newspaper and you've not been looking your perfect best, do you feel, again, that particular pressure that female stars feel?
Oh, I feel pressure. Too right, yeah, of course.
So I remember working with Amanda Holden on Britain's Got Talent when Kelly Brook got signed, and she went into a kind of meltdown for 3 days because we'd walk out and she'd have to face the press every day with Kelly coming out looking like a supermodel.
I think that's really sad, actually, that people pit women against each other like that. Because Amanda is beautiful in her own way, but she might not have Amanda's brains.
No, she hasn't. No offence.
Women have a hard time of it because they're compared to each other. It's not always about what shoes you got on or what dress or how much your dress was. That's just irritating.
You were once crowned most attractive girl at Gateshead's Metro Centre.
Woo! That's not embarrassing.
Were you proud at the time? Was this a big moment?
Proudest moment in my life.
How do you think your personal styles evolved, though, from the days of the Gateshead Metro tournament? I've seen pictures of you then, and, you know, you were very much a young thing trying to make your way in fashion.
I was a teenager, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was very much a tomboy. And I wasn't surrounded by glamour. I wasn't one of those girls that went out and bought all the magazines off the shelf or anything like that. I just kind of plodded on with my own thing. I used to watch performances and probably try and dress more like a costume than an outfit. You know, more like a pop star.
Who did you like to imitate? Anyone? Was there anyone that inspired you, fashion-wise?
Britney.
Really?
Yeah.
That would explain some of the outfits.
And people like TLC. I thought myself a bit of a hip-hop girl. So I wanted to wear baggy trousers and Timberland boots and...
But that's not where you've got to now, is it? I mean,
I don't think if you asked anybody what they wore when they were 16, they'd be the same now at 27. I would like to not think so.
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because we have actually got some photographic evidence to remind you of some of the Cheryl Cole looks over the years. What I want you to do is just tell me which ones you thought worked and which ones... which ones maybe weren't quite so successful. So I think we'll start with the sporty Cheryl look.
It's coming back around, that one. It's the jumpsuit era. We all wore them.
So marks out of 10?
4.
Next is the Vicky Pollard, Cheryl.
Oh, jeez. What was I thinking? What was I thinking?
Marks out of 10?
-1.
Now we're seeing a bit of a transformation here.
Are we?
Now, this is a bit more like it, isn't it?
It's a little bit strange looking back because I know how I felt then and I feel like a different person.
How did you feel then?
Like I was just starting to grow up, if you know what I mean.
Mm. When you look at Cheryl there, do you think you were happier then than you are right now?
In some ways.
What ways?
I don't know, maybe a little bit freer.
Freer?
Just a little bit, like, it's got to a point where the paparazzi are intimidated. And I got so associated them so much with pain that now it's not fun like it was then.
They're only after one thing, really, you looking upset. As it goes with the story.
Cheryl Cole, the girl next door who is anything but ordinary.
If I knew what made Cheryl special, I'd literally bottle and sell it.
I just think it's the aura she gives off. I don't know how to explain it.
Cheryl's popularity is off the scale. Everybody loves Cheryl, people of all ages.
Cheryl's just the perfect pop star.
Through sheer grit and determination, Cheryl has become one of the biggest stars in Britain.
From the beginning, she came into this world knowing what she wanted.
She believes she can walk through glass. And you know what? She can.
Do not underestimate Cheryl Cole. She's not stupid. She knows exactly what she's doing. I mean, she has me wrapped round her little finger.
From an early age, it was clear that Cheryl was going places.
The first day I took her to the dancing school, this teacher at the end of the first class came out and said, "You know, she's very special, she's got something special here."
In the last 2 years, the word Cheryl Cole had been mentioned over 18,000 times in British newspapers.
Everyone wants a piece of Cheryl. She's huge.
And it's no wonder. Not only is she one of Girls Aloud, Britain's biggest girl band, she married and then divorced one of the country's most famous footballers.
It's really hard to do normal things like go to the supermarket, you know, go get petrol, go get, you know, a bottle of milk.
On average, there are 25 different stories written about her every day.
I saw Cheryl's collapsed, and I just thought, another story, another rumour. And it wasn't until I got the call that I was like, whoa.
But how many of the things we read about Cheryl can we actually believe?
There's a lot written that is so untrue. It's just so fabricated.
Things have been made up about her all the time in the press, and the amount of attention that she gets is out of control.
All attention for Cheryl Cole is good attention. She don't care. As long as she's in the headlines, it don't matter what they're saying.
Is Pete Waterman right?
Couldn't be more wrong. Because it's not a soap opera, it's my life.
What are the most hurtful things you've had to read about yourself?
In the past, everything used to get to us. Everything. Because it's hard, because people don't really know you. They know what they're being given and the information they're being fed, that's it. It's all they know. So they develop their own perception of who you are, who you must be because of what they read. So it's frustrating because you want to say, no, do you know, I'm not like that. And if I was reading that, I wouldn't like me.
I mean, all this stuff with Gamut, the X Factor contestant,
Yeah.
has turned you from kind of, you know, Mother Teresa to Cruella de Vil. Do you regret not putting Gamut through to your final choice?
It's one of those things where when you're sat there for those 2 days, bearing in mind I hadn't been to boot camp or I hadn't experienced any of that. All I had was the tape and the girl that was in front of us there and then. And it's a lot more than just hearing somebody sing. I have to take these girls and put them on a TV show and create something week on, week out. And that's what I'm looking at, and I'm looking for a twinkle in their eye, or I'm looking for an instinct I feel when I'm with them. You make decisions, and I thought I made the right decision. And I trust that decision, and I believe in my decision. So it's difficult because I also understand that everybody's got an opinion.
Some people tried to suggest that you were being racist.
I can't even justify that with an answer. I mean, I just can't. It's just ridiculous. I can't. It's ridiculous.
Is it hurtful when people do that? Or can you now somehow block it out?
I can now somehow block it out because things have become so stupid. But when you need a kicking, you need a kicking, and if sometimes I make a wrong choice or it doesn't go with the grain, then I'll put my hands up and say, okay.
How did you feel on a human level to Gamut, given that she's very young?
Awful, awful, awful.
Have you spoken to her since?
I can't. I don't know what to say. What am I supposed to say? By the way, I'm sorry I didn't take you any further. And I'm sorry now that your life's upside down. What am I supposed to say?
When the doctor said there was a possibility you might die, what was going through your mind?
I was actually thinking, if it's going to happen, please just hurry up.